So yesterday, Sonic Stadium put up an article, and a lot of people were screenshotting this, and it really got people talking because Sonic Stadium did an interview, which they posted up onto the YouTube channel, and they were talking obviously with the people behind the Sonic and Shadow Generations game, which that's really got people talking because apparently Shadow has wings now, or at least he can manifest wings. How that happens, I don't know. I'm gonna have to get the game myself when it comes out. But anyway, they were doing an interview with I don't know who it was, but they were doing an interview with this individual who I guess was part of Sonic's Sega team, or at least part of the Sonic team out of Japan, or what have you, or the overall team in general. And one question they asked during this interview towards the end, I think, is the status of the freedom fighters. Sally, Bunny, Rotor, Dulcie, Lupe, Antoine, you name it. And the person's answer was they are in a relationship right now, a partnership with IDW. And that's it. That's all the answer was, that they're focused on their partnership with IDW. Now, other reports had come out as well, I think, during this Q&A, that they even said that they would love to incorporate comic characters from the IDW comics into games. Now, we've already seen that Tango, Whisper, and Surge have already been incorporated into the Sonic Dash mobile games that you can play on your phones or your tablets. So, obviously, they're already accomplishing that, but I think when they say they would like to incorporate other comic characters from IDW, they're talking characters like Lanolin, they're talking characters like Clutch, Kit, you name it. Any characters that they feel would be beneficial to the games, even if they're mobile games, they would like to include. But going back to that first answer they gave to the question about the freedom fighters, like I said, people were screenshotting that. They were talking about it and basically acting like, well, there goes our opportunity to see the freedom fighters in any capacity in the future. And when I read that, my initial thought was, why are you even thinking that pretty much closes the door on the freedom fighters? You see, that's just one person's opinion. Well, not opinion, but one person's answer and opinion. I should say opinion as well, but one person's answer and opinion. That right now they're in a relationship with IDW, and that's what they're focusing on. And again, I hear this, from people thinking, well, that's it, shut the door, it's done, so much for getting them back. You have to understand, like I said, that's one person's answer and opinion. It doesn't close the door. Listen here, okay? It doesn't close the door on the freedom fighters. They know, those people in Sega of Japan, Sega of America, overall Sega, if you will. Whether they're working together or they're on different wavelengths or whatever, they all know that Sonic would not be where he is today, multimedia-wise, if it wasn't for characters like the Freedom Fighters and the Archie Sonic comics and things like Satayam and Underground and so on. They know that. They know he would not be here, without the support and, interaction of those characters and those stories. They know that. So for people to take what this guy said as, oh, that's it for the freedom fighters, no, it's just one person's opinion. It's just one person's opinion. I mean, yeah, people can theorize. Like one person commented on a video I did where I talking about the fact that Sega Japan is the reason why IDW Sonic is not, fulfilling its full potential. This person said that the reason they believe that's the case is Sega Japan is jealous at the fact that Sega of America, was able to come up with, a lore, background characters, better stories, and so on for Sonic when they couldn't. And if that's what they believe, that's their opinion, that's their theory, their speculation. But whatever the answer this guy would have given, no matter how you feel about it, he doesn't speak for everybody. All right. He doesn't speak for everybody. The fact is, like I said, that's just his answer. That's just their opinion. And the truth of the matter is this. The truth of the matter is this, okay? The freedom fighters are still part of the Sonic lore. They are still part of the Sonic lore, no matter how you look at it. I mean, why do you think in the IDW comics, including the recent issue 69, why do you think people look at that one writer, if you will, that's dressed in white and looks like could be a reference, if not acknowledgement, to Sally? Why do you think they think that? It's because the people that drew her in there as part of that page or those several panels are basically saying, hey, we did not forget about these characters, and here's a little Easter egg for you. So even they, working on the IDW comics, knowing that they don't have the kind of, I guess you could say, leeway they used to have previously with Archie, they acknowledge and realize, hey, if it wasn't for the freedom fighters, characters like Sally, Sonic wouldn't be where he is right now. And, and that's a fact. That is an absolute fact. Now, is it disappointing that this individual would go out and say, hey, we're in a partnership with IDW? No, it's not disappointing. It's because that's what they're doing right now. If the shoe was on the other foot and they were still in bed with Archie, he'd say the same thing. But he would, instead of saying IDW, he would say Archie. And that's it. Same thing if he was, if they were working with Marvel or DC or Skybound or Image or Top Cow, he would say the same thing. He would just replace IDW with any one of the names of those publishers because that's their main primary focus. That's their primary focus. And look, it's like I said, and others have said, there are a lot of things that Sega Japan, the reason they're holding back on IDW from, fulfilling its full potential is because they don't want to repeat about, what happened, with Archie Comics. They don't want another lawsuit, Pender's legal fiasco, hitting them in the face with IDW. That is why they are restricting, what can be utilized for right now. It doesn't mean those restrictions, let's be real here, it doesn't mean those restrictions will last forever. For all we know, over time, someone will step in either on the SOJ side or the SOA side, or even both, someone that makes a compromise, and that person might say, hey, I'm looking over all these things that Sonic's involved in, and hey, Sonic and, these characters and all that could do a lot more if you guys didn't restrict them. And whoever that person is in the future might be able to create some kind of balance. They might be able to say, look, I understand you don't want this to happen again, but you got to let loose a little bit because maybe that'll help expand the lore. And when that day happens, I guarantee you people are going to be singing a whole new tune of celebration when that moment occurs. But that's not right now. That's in the future. And I guarantee you that's something that will happen. It's just a matter of when and where. But like I said, going back to the topic of this video, the person that's, Sonic Stadium interviewed, it's just their opinion. It's just their answer and opinion of the fact that, hey, we're in a partnership with IDW because that's their focus, okay? They're not saying we're in a relationship with IDW right now. Hold on for a second. That's the phone, guys. Hold on. Sorry, that was my mom. Sorry about that. Like I was saying, my mom called, let me know. She was a little late because there was a fatal accident on the freeway going into Livermore. So, yeah, I had to let her know about that. And then, of course, she had a teacher ask her, oh, well, where is she, when it comes to my mom, because my mom was a little later than the other teachers. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, it's just one person's opinion, their answer and opinion. That's it. That is one person's answer and opinion, not anybody else's. So, we just got to take that, and we got to look at that and say, hey, They're just stating what's going on right now, but it doesn't shut the door completely. Because when you look at what Team Season's doing, you look at what Archie Sonic Online's doing, you take a look at the references, like I mentioned earlier, that they are slightly making in the comics with background characters at times. It's like, the freedom fighters are not gone, dead and buried. Let's be honest. They are not dead and buried. It's just that right now, they don't want, even though it's in its 6th year and it could be going its full potential, but it's not. Right now we just got to be patient and see what happens. I guarantee you, if sales start to decline with IDW, and someone brings up a comparison with Archie, around the same time frame of existence, that might change their minds. That might be like, okay, maybe we do need to change things up a little bit and see what happens. So anyway, though, guys, I just wanted to talk about that and let you guys know that interview, that answer was just one man's answer and opinion, and we shouldn't really worry about anything. Let's just look at it that way. But until then, guys, I will talk to y'all later. Give me your thoughts in the comment section, and I'm out.